Have you ever felt like you've walked so far, yet somehow you're still standing in the same place? Why do we keep repeating the same stories with different faces, different places, yet always the same ending? Is this fate or just a pattern we haven't seen? And if it's a pattern, can it be changed?
Sometimes we think we've come a long way, but we've only been walking in circles. We replay the same patterns, only changing faces and scenery, like walking through a maze that feels new but always leads to the same dead end. This isn't because you're lazy or weak. It's because you've been surviving for too long, on paths that feel safe, even when they hurt. You've learned to stay where pain feels familiar, rather than risk the unknown.
Somewhere along the way, we start calling this pattern destiny, as if failure, heartbreak, and pain are meant to repeat forever. But this isn't fate. It's a cycle. And every cycle can be broken once we see it for what it is.
Awareness is the first doorway. When you see that these patterns are not coincidences or curses, you begin to take back your power. Because awareness itself is healing. Not all wounds scream. Some whisper. They shape how we see ourselves in the world. Sometimes our choices today are still controlled by yesterday's pain. It could be words that made you feel small, or a family pattern passed down through generations. The hardest part is that these wounds disguise themselves as truth. We say, that's just how life is, or that's who I am. But that's not you. It's who you became to survive. We learn to endure, not to be free. Finding the root of your pain isn't about blame. It's about reclaiming power. Once you know where it began, you can choose differently. Freedom isn't forgetting, it's understanding. Time doesn't always heal. Sometimes it just teaches us to hide better. We smile wider, but our hearts stay heavy. We move on, but carry the same pattern to new places. The first step is to name the pattern. What you name, you can change. What stays vague will control you in silence. Maybe it's fear of rejection, the urge to please, or the belief you'll always be left behind. You can't bring your old mindset into a new season. New life requires new eyes, new words, new ways of loving yourself. Freedom means you no longer define yourself by your wounds. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Relief is not the same as healing. It soothes, but doesn't transform. True transformation begins when we dare to look within, not to erase pain, but to understand it. One day, a quiet voice inside you says, "Enough." It's the truth, the call from your real self. You are the turning point, not just for you, but for generations before you and after you. The cycle can stop with you. Imagine looking into a cracked mirror every morning. Your reflection looks broken, your smile incomplete. Over time, you start believing that's who you are, but it's not. It's just the reflection of your pain. You can rise without your past's permission. You can begin again without explanation. All you need is the courage to say, I won't keep seeing myself through a broken mirror. Because when you replace that mirror with awareness, you finally see your true self. Among the pieces you've gathered with honesty and courage, you'll find yourself not as a victim, but as the creator of a new life. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.